let me talk a little bit about me, okay? I'm Victor Alves. I'm living in Barcelona, Spain for the last almost 20 years, but actually I'm from Venezuela originally. So if you arrive half an hour late, I understand perfectly, because in my country, original country in Venezuela, if you arrive late, there's no problem. But in Europe, especially in Barcelona, if you arrive 5 minutes late, it's a problem. Because people there consider that if you make me wait 5 minutes, you have to tell me in advance. Because if not, I'm losing my time. And I can use that time for other purposes. So from the cultural perspective, I'm going to see that in the model number 3, the cultural perspectives are very important when you go to somewhere. So I took a KLM flight from Europe to Abu Dhabi, and then a local airline from Abu Dhabi to Bahrain. I arrived half an hour late, and the pilots say, well, we are waiting for another transfer, another airplane. We have passengers, and the other plane was delayed. So we have to wait a little bit. In Europe, nobody waits. In Europe, it's time, go. Even if it's half of the plane, they just go. It happened with me many times in Europe. They're not waiting, but here they wait. And I just thought yesterday, look, if you are in Europe, they just left and tried to put, these passengers in another flight. But here, they wait, and the other part of the people in the airplane arrive half an hour late. So, originally, I'm from Venezuela, but all my parents are from Portugal. I'm married with a half Belgian, half Netherlands woman, and my kids are from Catalonia. You know what happened with Catalonia today? You see the news? We have a nice parties in the city, town, yesterday and last week. If you ask me if I'm agree with the situation, I'm not totally agree with the situation, but I understand them. Historically, if we see the story of those people, they always been suffer. When you force someone to do something which is not agreed by the other part may feel affected. And when you do that for 500 or 400 years, people have the history, the heritage, and then things like this happen in this city. For example, Catalonian people are people who are a country in the past which is south of Spain, south of France, and part of Italy. And today, because of the kingdoms before, they divide the countries and they divide that country. So if you are in the south of, in Catalonian side in Spain and speak Catalan, and you go to the south of Europe and you don't speak French, they speak Catalan with you also. And also in Sardinia, which is an Italian island from Italy. So if you understand the historical situations, then you will that will happen, and then you understand, well, those people wants to be independent, which from my point of view is not the best idea, but I prefer not have an opinion about this because I'm not from this country. So my background, incredibly, I study biology, then I study economy, then I did an MBA in Barcelona with a part of this MBA in Silicon Valley and in San Francisco. And now I'm doing my doctorate dissertation, which is related with customer experience from marketing perspective, let's say. And customer experience has to be anything from products to service, which is the difference from products to service from the customer perspective, customer experience perspective. Which is the difference? Yes. Customer experience, product or service. Which are the difference, this customer experience, when you approach a customer, the experience of the customer, from experience or for a product? Guess.
Marketing strategy.
Marketing strategy, of course, you have to make a marketing strategy for both, which is the first output. When you have from your experience as a customer, when I deliver a service or when I deliver a product. Yes, what's the difference?
Service helps sell the product. Service is helping sell the product.
Service is helping to sell the product. Very good. When the product is attached with the service or the other way around. You're going to see that in the model number 5. But imagine that you deliver a pure service. Okay, now imagine that you don't have a books. Imagine that you are not in this room, which is part of the good, some of the tangible. But there are intangible things, which is probably 80% of that experience, which is, I'm talking to you now. So, based on that service, imagine that you have no goods. Imagine that I'm online. It's a pure service or a pure product. From the experience perspective, the experience is always related with the expectations you may have. With the product, you can touch the product. You can see if the colors are okay, if you like the paper, if you like the images, something that you can really touch. So from the experience, from the marketing perspective, the service experience is based on expectations. And you, as a customer, has different expectations when you buy a pure service or a pure product. But in between, you have some differences. For example, I have to come from Barcelona to Bahrain to do this class. The service I need is from one point to another, but I need some good, which is the airplane and the seat of the airplane. So this is 80% service combined with a good. But in a restaurant, what do you expect is a good. But this good, which is the food, are not coming along, not coming with the service. And sometimes, even if the food are very good, but you complain about the service, but you're never coming back because of the service. And the service is only 20% of the good that you receive in that restaurant. So very good your approach when you mention that the service support the product. Sometimes the other way around. Okay? So from the customer perspective, you have this from product and service. And this is part of my dissertation on how you measure. You measure if the customer coming more and spend more money or not, if you're happy or unhappy, or different things like this. Okay? Let me go for the beginning. I was entrepreneur in Venezuela, related with education. I had more than 35 employees, with running very well. But suddenly, because I am biologist on that time, I have to deal with marketing, with sales, with finance, which from my company, my parents' company, I deal with the finance and sometimes with sales. But marketing is a new field for me. So I need to understand better what the numbers are behind and what I need to having the numbers on my side. So I study economy. But when I finish or almost finish economy, I realize that I have no focus, and probably that's why you are here. I have no specific focus in different parts of the companies and how they connect between each other. Because at the end of the day, you may know so much about finance, but if you don't know which are the requirements from the marketing, from the sales, from the operation, or another departments, you don't know how to do with the money. The other things happen with sales. Yes, I'm very specific in sales. I have a lot of skills, but is my product ready to go to the market? Do I have marketing support and investment to help me to sell better? Are the R+D department ready to fulfill the demands of my customer? Probably have this product, but this gentleman or this customer want this in color. Are my R+D department ready to do this in color or not? So the connection between departments is the one important thing that I realized, and that's how I did my MBA. Okay? I moved to Barcelona, did my MBA, and I have my first experience there. I'm the responsible of internationalization of the companies of an innovation park. I don't know if you know, are related with the innovation parks. It's an structures besides the university, and you can create companies spin-offs, or you create as an entrepreneur companies. In fact, Barcelona today is one, they try to position themselves as entrepreneurs hubs worldwide. With Berlin, with Silicon Valley, of course, it's the best well-known. And other cities in the world try to position themselves as an entrepreneur. Because at the end of the day, which of you are working in big corporations? Raise your hand. 2, 3. But at the end of the day, you represent 10% of the workforce worldwide today. 90% are small or medium-sized companies. And it depends on the company. Medium-sized companies can be 50 employees. Medium-sized companies in China can be 500, which is big companies here. So it depends on the level, but at the end of the day, 90% of the total population working as middle-sized companies. Also, I work on the coordinator of master. I teach in some classes in MBA, and then I moved to AMEC. I'm very related with academic fields, and I need to know the other side of the word, which is product, services, and special industrial. So I've been director of this association. I have more than 350 companies. 100 of them are very well related with me directly. How to support them with internationalization, which is interesting. When you have I moved to this company in 2009. I don't know if you remember what happened in 2009 worldwide, which is the financial crisis, hits big time. So as soon as I arrived to this position, 30% of my total customers go away. And people start to point at me and say, look, I'm just arrived 1 month. What you did before to lose 30% of our customers. So make them internationalize, make them to be more competitive from the internationalized perspective. It's very, very difficult because they are, before the crisis, they just produce. They have to do nothing. Just answer the phone, reactive, do the product, someone is picking up the product, and they put the hand. When the crisis started, the phone didn't ring. They are not prepared for the internalization. They have no specific product for compete with another countries in a specific target market. So they face a lot of problems, and I start to be some kind of consultant to understand. I'm sitting with them hours with 100 companies, one of them every day for 3 years. Tell me, what do you have? What happened with you? What's your problems? We have no languages. We are not speaking English. We have not R+D department. We are a company of my grandfather. So we don't know how to do this. Such kind of companies, and also companies of 600 million revenue every year. And they have 8 production plants worldwide, which is, I have not to say anything to those companies, of course. But the small companies, of course, they have a lot of doubts. Then I move, Then I moved to Blenhub, which is a company, Murcia in Spain? Murcia? But Barcelona. Yeah. I finished this company because they asked me to move to Murcia. And I say, if you ask me the other way around to move to Barcelona, probably I agree, but to Murcia, no. So they decide to close the branch in Barcelona, and the 19 people working there, only one decide to move to Murcia. The other 18 say, no, I'm not going to Murcia. It's a very small city. It's an interesting proposal, but it's quite difficult. So in this company, we do powders for food industry. And I don't know if you are related with the food industry here. None of you? So food industry, powders for food industry. If you go to the supermarket, 80% of what you are buying coming from powders. Bread, cookies, sauces, laundry. The only thing that are not coming from powders is vegetables, fruits, meat, or fish. The rest, everything somehow has powders on it. And they made a factory in a 40-foot container. It's very interesting because, listen to this, is worldwide innovation. We patent worldwide and disruptive innovation also. You know what the biggest problems when you have a product which is world patent and there's disruptive innovation? Find the first customer. This is very difficult because if you don't have the first customer, then you don't have references. And the product costs 1 million euros. It's expensive. Probably you may say yes. But build a factory costs 5 million. So you reduce the cost to set up a factory, but you don't want to be the first. Because if you're working in Nestlé, for example, and you are director of operations, your name does not want to be under some innovation that probably works or not. We guarantee that works, but it's our guarantee. Of course, we sell the product, but you are the customer. So it's quite difficult. We're going to talk about this company in some of the examples during the class. Then I work in John Doe, which is a marketing agency, and that specific job gave me the opportunity to talk with different companies in different sectors. Cars, food and beverage, mattress, pharmaceutical sector especially. We work for, not Kodak, but Fujifilm, the air conditioner, men. We work in different sectors to try to understand which are their marketing approach from different companies, different perspectives to go to the market. And it's very interesting. Finally, I work in Geneva for short term, and then in Lamipec. Lamipec is, I don't know if you know APP Paper. APP Paper rings the bell. It's the biggest company paper worldwide. It's a Indonesian or Malaysia. It's 200,000 employees, 150 billion year revenues. And Lamipec is a daughter of investment of 100 million. We were 200 employees worldwide, and we sell very well. They sell aseptic paper for food industry, the packages for milk and juices, the liters Tetra Pak. So there's an interesting approach how with a product that have no presence in Europe, from this company was set up in China because production cost is cheaper. How a Chinese company that in our minds, Chinese has not good quality, isn't it? Chinese is bad quality, isn't it? In our mind set up, like German produce a very good cars, isn't it? And Spanish people has a very good, I don't know, toros or whatever, or very good football. That is a cliché that we have in our minds. And when you sell a product from Chinese company for food industry, people are probably it's Chinese food. I'm not trying to be connected with something that I'm not sure that have this specific quality. By the way, they have a very good quality. And finally, I work in Barcelona School of Management, which is Pompeu Fabra University, as an international manager affairs. I resign in July because I have another objectives now. And this university is #1 university in Spain. Fields more related with financial, political things and human resources. They are very well connected with the politicals in Catalonia, and this is another story. Okay? So, any questions you may have? Which of you are related with the marketing department here? None of you? Okay.
Social media.
Social media, in which sector?
Education.
Education. Okay. You guys?
I'm in banking.
Banking.
I'm in sales department.
Sales. Okay. In which sector?
Asset products like loans.
Gloves?
Loans.
Loans.
Loans. Banking.
Banking. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And is it a local bank or? No. You mentioned. Okay. HSBC. I have a case for you today. And yourself?
I'm on a break as of now.
Anna?
I'm on a break.
You had a break. But before?
Before I was working for automotive.
Automotive. In which department?
I was working in the F&I department.
F&I. Okay, good. You?
I worked to ABB Bank.
ABB, of course.
National Bank of Bangalore.
A national bank. Also ABB is another company, engineering company.
In the trade department.
In the?
Trade department.
Okay. You? Welcome.
I'm a pre-sales engineer.
Okay.
And STC specialist.
Okay.
Saudi.
Is a Saudi. Okay. Yourself?
I'm working in Abu Dhabi Supply.
In?
Abu Dhabi Supply. It's a FMCG in.
Okay. Distributor.
I'm working as a supply planner.
Supply.
So I'm handling the P&G plans.
Okay.
Procter & Gamble.
Okay.
Yeah. So inventory management.
Okay, so operations, sales, social media, Okay, yourself?
Sales.
Sales. Okay.
Technology. It's a IT solution.
IT solutions. Okay. IT sector.
Civil engineer.
Okay.
Company operations.
Operations. Okay. So no one is related with marketing. Okay. Which are the expectations you have from the marketing course? Or what do you expect to understand? How is the structure?
Maybe consumer behavior, consumers' demand and supply. I mean, that's my objective.
Okay. It happened with you, which are people who are more focused from operation or engineering. Sometimes they lose in the path of marketing. They don't know what happened there. And recently, welcome. which is I mean, you working as a sales or marketing?
Yes, in retail.
In retail.
Yes, in travel.
Sales?
Yeah, in Travelex.
Uh-huh.
It's a money exchange.
Money exchange, okay.
So I manage the stores, the operations, the sales.
Operations. Operations and sales.
Everything.
Marketing also?
Yes, marketing also.
Okay.
Managing the whole thing.
Okay. So usually engineering, especially, marketing is like another word. They don't know what's going on over there. I will give you my best approach from the marketing perspective. And let me tell you, if you pay attention to this, it's very logical. In 2 days, I guarantee that you will understand all the process behind. But understand marketing in detail maybe take all your life, because there are so many details in every single step that if you want to go deeper and deeper, has a lot of divisions. But you're gonna go out for at least the big picture and how the marketing department is structured and why it's so important in the world today than never before. That probably will change in the next 20 years. That happened 20 years back. 20 years back, remember in 2000, how much important are the IT department? Because all of the companies, no one was prepared for internet or whatever. It's only 20 years back. So those people are the ones who go to this as a CEO. The CTO, Chief Technology Officer, are the ones who go to Chief CEOs, Chief Executive Officer. But today, CTO are not the ones who goes to as a CEO. Today, the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, are the one who goes to the CEO. And why is that? Because they have the overview of the whole market and they have the whole overview of the company, of my company. And I know exactly what I have, and I know exactly what is there, and I know, if they are very well structured, how much are those people need from me. So they make the connection from my company, market, my company, competitors, and market specifically. Okay? So let me go for the first module, which is the introduction. In the introduction, we're gonna see all the steps from the marketing perspective. The next. Okay. So the model number one is an introduction of the marketing. We're gonna see in this model the different steps we have to consider from the marketing perspective, okay? So today business has only two functions, which is marketing and innovation. Why is that? When I used to work in the paper company, I remember visit one company in the south of Spain, which revenue is 100 million a year, which is not bad. 100 million, it's quite a nice company. It's not big, but it is quite big. He said, Victor, he's director operations. He said, Victor, I'm working here for the last 20 years of my life. When I start this company only sells 1 million revenue. Today, this company sells 100 million. And that's part of another company in Italy. So we are going together. We fulfill the market with juices in different kinds of formats. I sell 1 liter pack and 250 liters pack. He needs 2 liters pack. And I say, but Manuel, why do you need 2 liters? Are you, as a customer, you buying 2 liters of juices when you go to the supermarket? None of you, isn't it? So I'm asking the same question, why you are looking for 2 liters? And he say, you know what I realized in the last 5 years, Victor? That before, from the operation perspective, I am the one who decide everything in this company. But recently, I am part of the services of the marketing department. And say, why? Because marketing department realized that our biggest 2 competitors are in the market, in the supermarket with 2 liters pack, and they have a big success. Who buys the 2 liters packs? I don't know if they are the restaurants or big families. We don't know exactly the reason, but we know they have a big success. So, if you offer me not 1 liter, but 2 liters pack, and this is the price you have to sell me, because marketing department told me that this 2 liters cost in the market for the people €1.23. And if we scale down the paper, we know that your paper has to cost whatever, 20 cents each pack or whatever. And because I sell the paper already printed, and you have to print it with full colors with that price. And if you have this product with that price, we may talk, because I have to buy the machine next week. So I was impressed about the statement of this person. He now considered part of the service of the marketing department. And when I asked why, he gave me the option to say, look, this is what the competitors do, this is what the customer wants, and this is what we don't have. And we have to have this product in this market to this price, so we know we're gonna have success. So what we are facing in our companies today is, or we innovate or we are dead. And we innovate because we as a customer are very well informed. It's very easy for us to know if somebody are cheating us or not. I need to buy a new car. My car is an old car, and in Barcelona, contamination is an issue. So they don't allow to drive my car, even if it's almost brand new. I cannot allow go with my car in that city from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the night. And I have a problem because I need the car to move on. And I need to buy another car, so I'm looking for the brands. Before, you have to go to the car shop and you ask them, hey, which is the best brand? And of course, the salesperson is very important in that moment, because they may convince you, and based on their KPIs, they have the numbers or not. Today, I can go to the shop and I say, hey, let me know which is the best car. But before you tell me which is the best car, I already go to the websites and see which is the price of this car, where this car is, if the car is in Manama or in another place in Bahrain or in Saudi. I can bring the car here or not. I see exactly the price. So I will know if you cheat me or not. So we as a customers are very well informed. And it's very difficult for companies to surpass this. So they are more open and transparent today. They try to be more open. It depends on the sector. And your sector is more sometimes difficult internally, externally. Of course, you see the offer from different banks. It's more easy to see as a customer. But sometimes you have a small letter. And if we sign the contracts and the bank then goes, yeah, but do you sign the contract? Yeah, but this part I didn't read. It's really small letters and you cannot read it. Sometimes happen in the bank sector or in other sectors. But coming back, innovation is one of the most important things from the companies, and we have to be sure that we have at least something in our background or our product department to fulfill the needs of the market. Okay? So, which are the questions of this chapter? Why is marketing important? The scope of the marketing, the fundamental concept of the marketing, how marketing management change, what are the tasks necessary for successful marketing management, okay? So, what is marketing? Usually before, the approach, production or product approach before, we produce and sell. The market is ready to receive whatever we produce. Today, the focus is totally different. Not because you have an incredible idea in your mind, this idea is going to have success in the market. You have to be sure that this idea fits on the market needs. So today, companies, as you mentioned before, are moving from production or product to more service approach. And before, you just remember, some people we are some old people, well, myself especially, but when I was young, I remember people ring the bell of my home to sell carpet, the cleaning or Tupperware or things like that. Remember, only your age, you may remember. I remember when I was young, people ring the bell, and today, which of you receive or listen the ring of your bell house to sell something? Yeah, you still, wow. First student ever. But usually that finish. Why? Because company doesn't make that approach. And because if they ring the bell, I will send a cleaner. Sorry, I already know where I have to buy the cleaner. And I have a lot of offer, and probably don't have to move even from my house to buy a cleaner because, I asking for Amazon and internet. So before we just create and you receive. Now we are more thinking about the marketing as an organization fundamental to communicate delivering value to the customer, and managing our customer relationships. So we create value and we deliver the value, but before to deliver the value, you have to communicate them. We need to know which are the needs you have before. You said you work in sales. Okay, tell me, how do you approach to your customers? From your product, from your company, your big company behind, or how you approach to them?
My approach is direct marketing, like direct calls, visits.
Okay, this approach, when you do a direct call, what do you tell them?
Introduce themselves that I'm from so-and-so company and my name is this, and if you're interested in our product.
Okay, so look, this is, because I used to work in the marketing agent the same way. It works very good, but you have to make a lot of calls. I'm gonna give you some tips. Of course, you know already. If I present myself and I immediately talk about my product, which is the first approach, is good. But the next thing, and you for sure you do, is try to make an open questions. Try to take as much information as you can from the other side. And the other side, because they don't know you, they just tell, look, Mohammed or Victor, I want to tell you all my problems. I don't know you. You have to try to create some confidence between each other, and then I'm start to release, and then I'm start to telling you which are my problems every day. So when you have that information, I always have with the phone paper, and always, write down all the needs that the person may have. And based on that needs, then I talk about my product, not before. Because if you talk about my product, you don't know if this gentleman needs my product or not. You need to know what are the needs they may have and which of his needs match with my product. It's the other way around. It's not mine. Take whatever you want. Take this, okay, take it. No. I need to understand which are the needs of this person, and I pick up this specific one from my product that fulfill their needs. And this is something very easy and logical to understand, but so many companies doesn't apply. They just approach to you and try to sell what they have, which is the most easy from the company, of course. But if you are more customer-oriented, you have to be sure that some of the things that you have as a product match with their needs. And then you have a delighted customer. Okay? So in other words, market is about identifying human and social needs. This is the most important thing. So, and the marketing management is an art and a science. What do you think is an art and science from marketing management? What is art in marketing?
Creativity.
Huh?
Creativity.
Creativity, good. Because if you as a customer wants to buy whatever the product is and you go online, which are the ones you decide to go first? The one who has a very old-fashioned web design with no colors and no videos, or a nice web design with 30 seconds video, nice colors? This is the art. And part of the art are related with a lot of the strategy behind. But which is the science?
Social science.
Social science? What does social science means?
People's behavior.
Huh?
Needs.
People's behaviors, and what else? Hello, you can sit here or here. Welcome. Huh? Yes.
It's about understanding the market sentiment and designing the product.
Okay, now you're still talking about art, not science. Think about the science a little bit.
Economic science.
Huh?
Economic science.
Economic science, good. Which is not only the numbers you receive. This is part of the sales, but of course it's part of my credit too. I'm the marketing, I'm the communicator. The science behind usually is related with numbers, with evidence. And the numbers and evidence are, look, imagine now you have a product in your mind. And this product fit with people, no matter the gender is, from 20 to 40 years old. Okay, in Manama. So, how many people in Manama from 20 to 40? Yes? 500,000? Let's say 500,000. Do you think you're going to target all of them at the same time? No, why not? Huh? Why? You cannot? You cannot concentrate.
You don't have the capability or their data to direct market with it.
take
The target is
samples,
too
right?
diverse.
Huh?
It's too diverse.
Too diverse?
Like sampling, you can take sample like some people.
Okay, you take samples, is too diverse. Why you take samples? Which are the samples you take the first to communicate your idea you have in your mind?
Maybe depends if you're by gender or by whatever. Like.
Whatever you have in your mind?
You have the accessibility to those people at one time.
Uh-huh.
You don't have the accessibility for all the 500,000 at one point.
Okay.
May have
So you have to take some part of them. Which one you choose first?
The ones
one-
which our product or service
The
requirement.
one?
Target marketed.
You target the marketing, yes?
Maybe products, I will not target someone who doesn't need it. You know, if I'm selling.
Now, but we already say that from 20 to 40, no matter the gender is, need our product, which is good. This is our segment. Okay? This is the segment of the market. But now we have to target the segment. If we target the segment at the same time, it's too broad. We may mismatch the communication, because at the end of the day, it's communicate what we have. And we can communicate by calls to 500,000, or we can make an online or offline strategy. We're going to talk about this. So which one you choose first, logically? Huh?
Younger generation.
Huh?
The younger ones from
The younger ones? Why the younger ones?
because they impact faster through technology and also
Okay, now imagine the product costs $100,000. Youngers has money? Probably in your mind, you have a cheap product. Because in your mind, probably is because as a new product, young people are more innovative. They are more open to innovations, probably. But some of you, you are innovative people, that if something appears in the market, you want to be the first to buy. Raise your hand. None of you? Only one. This is the quantity I expect. Usually, and you call the innovators. I am kind of lagger. I may change my car 5 years back because governments say 5 years back, in this year you cannot use this car anymore, blah, 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 and say, you know what, till the end, I am the lagger. But many of us are in the main street, which is people that, okay, I have this, you have this is more interesting, more new, the price is not too big, okay, I change. And this is where the money from the companies is. We're going to talk about this later. But yes, we have the segment, but we target the one which we believe we are going to have best success. Okay? So probably if the product is cheap product and very innovative, of course, I'm going to go for the 20 to 24 and go online and see what's going on. Because we believe that from this target, is a very good starting point to make money. Because at the end of the day, companies are they are created to making money. But if the products are more expensive, let's say 100,000, young people, even if they are very innovative, they don't have such quantity of money. People from 35 to 40, which already have kids, which already have a good position, or they already pay their house, they are be willing to pay for such product 100,000. So you target this group. And the communication and your strategy from marketing perspective are going to this group, not to the others. The others, you create a message for a very few. You are very fortunate. Look what we have for you. The young people start to saving money to have the same product, and you're going to attack them later on. Okay, so this is part of the science, to understand the evidence of the numbers and which are the numbers we are follow. Then we're going to talk about geographically, we talk about psychology of the people, then we're going to talk about the culture. But this is one of the most important things from the marketing perspective. Let me show you as general knowledge how marketing was evolved in the last 500 years, let's say. Which of you received emails today about commercial offers? All of us. Are you open any of those emails? You're still open. Okay, good. Why are you open?
Because I want to be updated.
Okay. Okay. And this offer are any kind of offer, or are offers which is interesting you from the personal or professional perspective?
I subscribed on this.
Okay, you're subscribed on this. This is interesting. But usually, we are not be able to receive that kind of emails. In fact, my surname is Alves da Silva, which is Portuguese name. I didn't say that. I born in Venezuela, live in Barcelona, but my parents are from Portugal. This is another part of my life. But this surname are especially common in Brazil. So I receive so many emails from Brazil thinking that I'm Brazilian. And I believe, because from Spain I'm not receiving anything. People from Spain just stop emailing campaigns because it seems like it doesn't work properly. In Brazil, it seems like works very good because I receive every day no more than 30 emails from Brazil. And because of my name is very common there, they believe, and I believe, that my email campaign works from them very good. So it depends on the culture, some of the emails campaigns working or not. But then they are talking about cross-channel marketing, which is the concept of cross-channel marketing, as per your understood. You pay attention to the video. This is not for fun. They have an objective. Huh? Okay. Any idea what cross-channel marketing campaign is?
Going through different ways of marketing, like you said, you go through emails, you go through
Good, my friend. Thank you for that. Yes, when you have an idea to communicate to your target market based on your segmentation, you have different strategies to approach to them. And those different strategies are calling cross-channel marketing, or they call today omni-channel. I don't know if you heard every time omni-channel, which is different communication tools that you use to be sure that your target market will listen to. For example, which of you are not in Facebook today? You are not in Facebook. Why not?
Because I saw the collected data and I got a little bit.
Okay, it's a reason, and it's a personal reason, and I agree with you. But look, if you are my target market, and based on this cross-channel marketing campaign, I decide to go to Facebook, I keep this gentleman out from my scope. And this is not from my own interest. What I need is this gentleman be on my scope. So that's why I use, hello, you may sit here. Yes. I need to use another communication tool to be sure that he is on board. And probably Facebook is not the one. Probably the other tool is email campaign. Look, he subscribed to the email campaign. Probably I will target this gentleman this way. Or I may use a banner on the streets, on the highway, like those ones, small ones, they are not big anymore. I remember when I was younger in Venezuela, one of those on the highway cost $1 million every month in Venezuela. And I was, on that time, there is no online. And I remember being entrepreneur. I being an entrepreneur, and I'm trying to make one of those on the highway, and I say, I cannot pay 1 million such small company like mine. So we go into the newspaper, and the small things in newspaper one day, one Sunday, cost I don't know how many thousands of bolivares. And we say, wow, we have to have 20 students to pay one advertisement to appear one Sunday in that newspaper, and that's it. Doesn't appear anymore. So we are thinking, what about if we go to magazines? Because, newspaper before come with magazines. And people throw away the newspaper, but sometimes they keep the magazines with the opportunity in the future that you look the magazines and then you see our advertisement. Today, it's more easy to understand. Before, when you spend budget on marketing, do not forget the budget because we're going to talk about this tomorrow. When you spend budget in marketing offline, you are not sure how much is the quantity of this return when you invest. Online, you can measure everything. You can measure the cent of the euro in every single campaign you made from marketing online. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Okay? So, the cross-channel marketing is very important to understand how you communicate your idea to which segment, specific to that target, and how I will connect to that target to different ways to be sure that the message is delivered. Okay? Then we continue then. We can market goods, services, events, experiences, persons, places, property, organizations, ideas, information. We can target everything. And we can market everything. Of course, to market those different things, we have different approaches. Okay? And usually, as a customers, we have different kinds of demands. We have negative, non-existent, or latent demand, and overfull demand. You remember iPhone? Which of you are iPhone addicted? Raise your hand. No iPhones here? Or I am the only one? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, you have to. You are more than addicted to the iPhones. I agree with you. But incredibly, I like a lot iPhones, but I still using PCs. I'm not comfortable with the iBooks. I'm more comfortable with it. Why is that? Probably the company doesn't approach to me on that sense, and I believe it's more friendly for me use PCs and more friendly for me use iPhones. And in fact, I have the other system and I didn't like it. You remember iPhone when they came out 4 years back with the iPhone SE, the cheapest one? You want to buy one, and when they finish, they just release on the market, and after 2 weeks, the iPhone disappear because everybody wants to have this phone. It's cheaper, the same features, more or less features, but the prices are very low. So this kind of demand is an overfull demand. Also, you remember in 2000, the mad cow's disease we have in Europe? And I don't know if you remember that time, but on that time I'm still living in Venezuela. And the mad cows appears in Netherlands or something like this. I cannot remember exactly which, or United Kingdom. In Venezuela, nobody buys meat. And yeah, but it's far away. Yeah, but no, I don't want to have meat. And people switch to chicken or switch to other kind of meats because you don't know if that meat has some kind of disease. So this is a negative demand. You may have different examples. Latent demand is something that we are waiting for something that doesn't appear yet. And I'm going to give you another example. When I was a teenager, my father's, I'm from Portugal, and usually they take me to Portugal 3 months in a small town. And sometimes I get boring, I'm quite nervous. So I took a train to go to different cities in Europe. And I remember such a young person, I was young, I remember carry on my Discman, remember the Discman? The Walkman, and then Discman, and then the camera, big camera, and then the watch, and then the traveler's checks, and then the whatever I have. And on that time, I just thought, why people doesn't came out with something that I have not to carry so many things and disappear. So I have here the watch, the Discman, I have here the watch, I have here the wallet, I have here everything. And one thing that I have not to be sure that I have all of the things on me. I have just one thing, and with this thing So, it's a latent demand because I expect that something appear in the future, but it's not in the market yet. As soon as they appear, I was one of the first who having, you remember the phones when they are like this, a brick, they call the brick, I have a brick. And I was in 1995, I have my first mobile phone. And I remember on the street and people looking at me because I'm working as sales in my family company. So usually I have to visit customers. And sometimes I had to stop in the way and go into the public phone, and sometimes the public phone doesn't work, and sometimes, so many things happen. And with this phone, I save 30% of my time because streets in Caracas are very well collapsed. So with this phone, I arrive early and I be sure that the customer is there, and I save more time and make more money. So when you realize that you need something and it's not in the market, it's a latent demand. And you have some others. Do you know this chart from the economy perspective? No? Look which is in the middle, the government. What the government asks for you? Taxes. It's the same thing as in Saudi that you start having a VAT 5% taxes here? You didn't have taxes before. Welcome to my world. You know how much is the VAT in Spain? 21. You know how much the VAT in Portugal? 27. You know, if a company hires me in Barcelona and they pay me 100,000 euros a year, you know how much money the state takes from my salary as a taxes? 59%. So if the company hires me for 100,000, at the end of the year, I only receive 41,000. The other 59 are going to the government. And at the end of the year, I have to pay more taxes. It depends how much they discount. I have to pay, 1 or 2% more. So have you ever had the experience to go to Europe? Which of you didn't? Raise your hand. You didn't yet. If you go there someday, you will see wow, everything, it's nice, everything is clean, people behave very well, everything works. But because they take a lot of money from our pockets to have this kind of things. It's a system, it's like a father of the family or mother of the family. I receive money from my salary or whatever, and I have to make expenses. If the expenses are bigger than the income, I have to take the money from somewhere. And usually, governments in Europe take taxes from you, scratch a little bit, million people, it's a lot of money, so I balance my accounts. So in the middle, you have in this economy modern exchange flows, the government, which is consumer market, which is us, the consumers. Resource markets are the companies who receive the products, our work or raw materials to produce. That's where they produce. And this is where you work. Hello. This is where you work, the distributors. So you have the consumer here who give resources, which is my time, and they pay for us our salary, which is money. Then you have the resources, which is raw material or salaries. We give them resources or raw material, and they pay for it, money. Manufacturers do goods or services here to the intermediary markets, and of course, the intermediary markets pay money. And these intermediary markets give goods and services to us, and we pay money for them. Okay? But in the middle is the government. Taxes, 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 and they give to us services, and services, which is policemen, streets, hospitals, financial, the things, so far, so forth. But this is more easier from the marketing perspective, which is a simple one. The industry, which are the companies who produce things, and the market, which is a collection of buyers. Usually, we pay money and they give service, or they give service and goods and we pay money for that. But we give them information. I like your product or I don't like your product. Okay? And based on that information, they communicate. Hey, because you didn't like the product, we develop a new product for you who may fit better with needs you may have. Okay? So, the key consumers market we have in the world are us, the consumers. Then the business market, which is the companies. Please raise your hand if some of you doesn't know what is B2B or B2C. Raise your hand. Okay, B2B, imagine I'm working in that paper company and you are Nestle. So I am a business and you are a business. So it's a B2B, buy my paper. B2B, business to business. And your Nestle, he is your customer, he buys your product. So business to consumer, B2C, business to consumer. Okay? It's important because I realize in my experience that some of the students doesn't know, and it's very good to be everyone in the same page. Huh? Exactly. So consumers market are us. Business markets are companies who make business between them. The global markets are companies who have worldwide presence. And finally, the non-profit or government markets are hospitals, military, church, and so far, so forth. So and this slide is very important, okay? Keep that on your mind. This slide tells us the different things we have to think when we build a marketing plan. First, the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, is to understand the needs market. We may have the best idea in our mind, but if this idea nobody needs on that moment, you're working for nothing. So you have to be sure that your idea fits on the market's needs. This is the first thing. So needs, wants, and demands. At the end of this module, we're going to talk about the difference between needs and wants. Okay? And then the demands. How much is the company demand from us? I have a discussion last 4 weeks back with some students, a group of students. And this morning, I read something in the newspaper who answered that question. And I'm going to ask you that. You know Zara? Zara as a company. Why Zara sells the product more expensive in one country than another? Huh?
Depending on the spending power of the people.
Good. This is one thing. There are three things. The first thing is, if the people in that country has better GDP, they can pay more for my products. This is the first thing. In fact, they compare a shirt, which cost this 1998 or 1995 in Spain, and is 38 in Saudi Arabia, which is, they consider that the GDP is so high in that country, that is the country who sells that shirt, specific shirt, more expensive than any other market in the world. I'm not saying all the products, but in specific, they put the example of that shirt. Good. So first, if I have a company and I see that Switzerland has better GDP than my country, probably I can sell my product in Switzerland more expensive. Second, quality? Huh? No. He say quality. It's related, but not yet. It's more from marketing perspective. Here's the point I want to arise. No, quality, yes, but it's not the specific one. 3 points. One, the GDP. Second, guess. Huh? Demand, no, is part of the GDP.
Amount of people who are...
Amount of the people is part of the GDP. Demand, keep that word demand and keep the, what do you say, the quality. What else?
You spend less for the marketing awareness.
Huh?
The people awareness of the product, so they don't have to spend much on marketing. So people always come to buy.
Okay.
And brand election.
Okay, brand election. This is the second thing. Brand, quality, marketing, and yes, quality. So first thing is GDP. How much people has in their pockets to pay for my product? Second is the brand image. If your brand image is too good, you can add a little bit more because people think, yes, Zara has good quality, nice designs. Yes, why not? We can charge a little bit more. And the third one is logistics and operation. How much is the cost for income taxes of this product in Saudi? Which, by the way, the articles say, which is a little bit higher. So because it's higher, they charge more. I mean, if your cost is, I don't know, 15, and the income taxes is 5, at least 20, to be sure that you cover your cost. And from this point, you go to the GDP, and then something which is, I'm going to the demand. The demand is related with quality, is related with the quantity of the people, is related also with the brand image in our mind as a consumers. The second, we decide the target, but behind the target is a segmentation, which is the population we want to target, how the segmentation, which one we're going to target and which one we're going to target first. And this is based on how we position our brand. Imagine that you have any brand of your mind, and that brand, I'm going to give you a real example. Before I want to open a business school in Panama, which is Latin America. We have our brand image in Europe, and we need to know which is our brand image in Panama, because we don't know if we want to be selective for very few, very expensive, or we're going to go down very cheap for everyone, respect the quality in all the senses. So It depends how you position that brand in that country. You may charge more or less. Now, this is a very exclusive boutique business school, but for very few students who wants to appoint very high, you can charge 100,000. You compete probably on one or two in the same country. Or there's no one in this country who has this kind of approach. So you're going to be the first. You're going to have a very few quantity of the students, but everyone pays 100,000. It's okay. Or imagine that you want to compete with a lower price. You need 100,000, no, 100 students, pay less, but the money at the end is the same because you position your brand in that field. So why you position in one way or another, it depends of the market. And if you step on in the market and you see, look, there are 5 companies who are target the high level and they have better reputation than mine, it's not make any sense if we are going for this positioning because we compete in the red ocean for the other companies we already have there for the last 20 years. So we have almost no possibilities. But no one thinks about, the lower level. Even if we have a brand image in Europe, we can go starting in that point and probably in the future make a sub-branch with, some quality courses for other people. You get the idea? So you decide how you position, which is the demographic or geographical place, which is the place where you're going. We're going to talk about this in model number 2. Then you segment your targets. Then you target them through the communications by offerings and brands. Okay, so you offer in your brand, your position, and then the value and satisfaction, which is the value going with me and not for the other. This is something I call value proposition. Something that you keep on your mind, value, I always say that word many times in my classes, value proposition. If you have any idea on your mind why I have to buy from you and not from the competitors, tell me which is your reason. Because I am the cheapest. Okay, agree with this. Tell me which is your reason. Not because I have better quality, better features, better customer service, whatever you have, please let me know. Because in that way, you fulfill my need. If not, you are another one in the field. So let's try to see if I sometimes knock your door. Next, the marketing channels are going to go for Facebook, email, any social media campaigns, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn, we don't know yet. Supply chains, how we deliver the service there. Look, I am part of this supply chain in this organization. I'm coming from Barcelona, setting up the ticket, marketing campaigns to you, feeds all of us in the same place, in the same time, in the same moment for a specific objective. Then the competition, which is one of the most important things, who you compete with. Which are your competitors and why you are so different. This is something that you never will forget on having in your mind. The marketing environment is something which is not related with you, it's something outside. It calls usually the pest analysis. Political situation, social situation, economical situation, technological situation. Because imagine that you want to go in this country online, but the internet is really bad. Only if you are not online, if you are, you record something like this gentleman, and then you upload and you see the videos, okay. But if it's an online class and the internet connection working bad, your whole idea, going down. Okay? And finally, when you have all those things set and up, then you do your marketing plan. You see? So the marketing plan is the result of having the other things on your mind, put on paper, and an action plan. We're going to start this way, this month, with this plan, with this budget, in this position, with this target, with this. Okay, so the marketing plan is a document who fulfill all the steps that you saw before. We're going to go in detail today at the end of the class with the model number 6, which the marketing plan contains. And that marketing plan contents are the parts that you, as a groups, will develop for tomorrow. Don't worry, you don't have to make a presentations, nothing in your house. You keep the idea, dream of it, and tomorrow, in groups, we're gonna discuss and make a short presentation orally, each one. Okay? Don't worry, I'm gonna explain that later. The types of needs we have as a customers, we have a stated need, we need a car. The real need, we need a car cheap, with expenses cost cheap. The unstated need, expect good service from the dealer. The delight, something that is not in the papers but I would like to have, is I would like the dealer to include on GPS on board. And the secret, I want to see my friends as a savvy customers. If we put our feet as a consumers, we always have different kinds of needs when we buy everything in our life. Sometimes we buy, a really expensive watches because I want people to see me like, a fashion or probably. Or you want to buy a big car because even if you cannot pay your food or your house, but I want a Ferrari, so people will think that I am rich. All of us have different, it's true. Some of us, every time we buy, we have some kinds of secret needs. We have some delight needs, some state needs. We're gonna buy a Gucci bag. Why? Because the quality of this bag is what I expect in my whole life. I don't want to show anyone nothing. I just want to have, is the delight, to have one bag for the rest of my life. Every one of us always have different kinds of these different needs. We are already talking about the segmentation, target, and position. And position, as I said before, take the example of the business schools in Panama, okay? What do you see here, my friend? You ladies, tell me, what do you see here? Calling Pepsi. What do you see there?
3 types of Pepsi.
3 types of Pepsi. You, salesperson.
3 cans of Pepsi.
3 cans of Pepsi.
Different products.
Different products, different types of products.
Different colors.
Different colors. So now talk to me about from marketing perspective. So different products, different colors. Different people. So I target different people with these different products. And we try to connect with them with different colors. But sometimes brands have some different ideas in their minds to try to convince you that go with me, not only because of the cola. Because if you see Pepsi, you also have Coca-Cola. And if you go to the supermarket, those are the 2 biggest ones. But if you go to the others, you may see a lot of them, and you probably try on others. Why you go for Pepsi? They try to engage you somehow. Let me show you one strategy Pepsi followed years back. They say worldwide, but the students here told me that didn't happen in these countries.
I see so many kids that go by the wayside that have tremendous talent.
We want any kid who has special needs to have the opportunity to be part of a program like this at their school.
Club for Negative Prom Day is basically provide free tuxedo rails if you guys can afford it.
This Operation Gratitude, it sends care packages to troops who are deployed in the harm's way. Pepsi is launching Pepsi Refreshing campaign fostering innovation for the social unit.
Pepsi Refresh Project will be donating $20 million nationwide this year.
And you decide who gets it. In 2010, Pepsi launched the Pepsi Refresh Project. People shared ideas. Our idea is to create a team free after-school culture and language programming.
Develop art projects made for and by the community.
People voted for ideas. And Pepsi gave millions to make them happen.
These are the first grant recipients of the Pepsi Refresh Project. This is a year-long program that provides funding to people with some great ideas to make a positive impact.
Pepsi giving me this grant is just absolutely incredible.
Every single day, I would find a new way of reaching some more people.
We did all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and then use daily emails.
Everyone wants to be a part of this project. It's incredible and inspiring.
I think it's going to change the world.
Let's get that leisure, forget about all that evil that they feature. Pepsi is appealing to what is happening in this country right now, and they're doing a really good job.
In 2010, Pepsi put over 1,000 ideas into action, and in 2011, the project's going global, funding ideas around the world.
Okay, so this company has an idea, which is launch a new campaign, which is, we may interpret or we may think which is a marketing campaign or not. But it's something me as a customer, I like to support. They have an idea to invest money for health, arts and culture, food and shelter, the planet, neighborhood, and education. If you have an idea to develop any of those 6 areas, they invest on you based on the comments of the people and the support of the people. They invest 20 million in 10 months. Do you think it's a lot of money?
For Pepsi, no.
For Pepsi?
No.
No? Why not for another company, in a company of, I don't know, 50 million or 100 million year revenue?
Depends how much percent they're paying depending on the yearly revenue.
Okay, so if you start thinking about remember the art and science? This is part of the science. The art is, look, let's try to engage the people in some other activities besides our product, our demands, our target market, and our segmentation. Let's go a little bit further to connect with those people from the emotional perspective. So they invest 20 million in 10 months, which is 2 million per month. You know how many, probably you didn't remember, but you know how many press impacts they have in 10 months? Remember the number?
20,000.
No, 3 billion. 3 billion press impacts. You manage something in marketing. How much money you have to invest to have 3 billion press impacts?
No.
So if you divided 20 millions in 3 billions, look how much was the cost from the marketing perspective of that campaign. It was 0.0001 cent of euro each impact. Usually every impact costs you $5,000 or 5,000 euros. This is one thing. Second thing, you know how many votes people vote? One guy has an idea of education, one girl has an idea of shelter, another people has an idea of neighborhood. You know how many people vote? 74 million. So if you divided 74 million for 20 or 20 million, 74 million, you will know that 0.20 or 0.18 cost each lead. Okay, so a lead, you know how much is the cost of the lead? A lead may cost money. So each lead to try to connect with you with this campaign to this company cost not 0.2, no, sorry, 0.02 or 0.017, which is very low, the cost of the lead. You as a company, if you want to target people, the cost of the lead is very high. We're going to talk about the cost of the lead from the social media perspective tomorrow during the day. Okay? And they have 12,000 submissions. I mean, 12,000 people who has the idea. Again, 20 million divided by 20,000, you have your number of the ideas developed by the people. If I asking you, hey, please, can you develop an idea? It's like a marketing plan. You have to stay here for 10 months and you have to develop in 2 months. They have 12,000 in 10 months. So imagine the quantity that these people save. It's a kind of face wash from one company who sell cola, which has a lot of sugar and is probably unhealthy to us, probably. But I prefer having that kind of approach from the companies that having an approach that does just take my drink, take my product and buy. Let's try to make another connection with them, okay? Many companies do that way. For example, Amazon, I look in Forbes, the source, to see which are the company who has a better customer rating worldwide, customer service rating worldwide. Well, I don't believe it's worldwide. Probably it's more in the United States. Why? Because the first two companies are companies that I believe are only in the United States, and I ever heard that companies in Spain or Belgium or France or Portugal, where I usually move on. So Aldi is a Netherlands company. Is a supermarket chain. I don't know if you know Mercadona in Spain, where it's the same thing. And the fourth is Amazon, which is a company that everybody knows. That's why I bring this company to you. This company is, the customer says, an infinite variety on one side without having to search multiple brands and online companies, which is good and bad from the company perspective. If you have a company, you have to sell through Amazon, at the end of the day, we're gonna see that in the today or tomorrow in the model 4 or 5, the Porter's 5, the bargaining of the supplier. Probably Amazon now force you to give a certain quantity of the price, some kind of delivery. You have to deal with the guarantees and so far, so forth. But this is another story. What the people say is that this company, you have an experience of the customer service from Amazon perspective? Yes? Which is your idea or your experience?
What happened is I had ordered something myself, but it was taking time to deliver.
Okay, so you complain with them.
Yeah.
And which is the answer for that company?
Within less than 24 hours, they replied saying that this is taken care of, and immediately they gave me an update of the location.
And they serve you the product and you are... So in less than 24 hours, any of you have any other experience with Amazon before? I do the question to the students and many people buy. And what I receive from the people is more than 80%, they are happy with the customer service of this company. They
delivered twice. They delivered another product.
They delivered 2 times, which is good for you, but at the end of the day, what we try to see is which are the companies who serve better from the customer perspective, and this is one of the examples, when we call that value and satisfaction. So, to reach the target market, the marketers use 3 kinds of marketing channels: communication, distribution, or service. From the communication perspective, we already saw. From the distribution perspective, through the distributor, and from the service, the one who delivered the service at the end. The market environment, we said before that the best analysis, which is things that are sometimes not under our control, but we have to be sure that is in the scope of the marketing plan. And we have the market environment, we consider the demographic, the economic situation, social, cultural, the natural, technological, and political, legal. This is a kind of best analysis. And if you see that slide, this is like talking to us how we are very well informed in the market today. We are the networking information, the globalization, the deregulation, the competition. I remember when since some arrived to Barcelona and having some ideas on my mind, in my country works perfectly because in my country doesn't have too much competitors. But if I think the same ideas in Barcelona, only if I'm Google it, I already have 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 20 companies that already have this idea, are in the market already. So competitors are something which is very important, and competitors means that we as a customers, we have a lot of offers. And from the company's perspective, very difficult to try to reach us from different channels, communication channels, and fulfill the needs we may have. Okay? But we as a consumers has a lot of information today, which is more easy for us to discover which are the ones who fulfill that needs, in the properly way. So, yes, go ahead.
What is the regulation and disintermediation?
The regulation is before, if you, for example, I don't know if you have the experience to export goods to Brazil or Argentina. No, not from Bahrain, but any country or any, yes, no. Well, I have the experience. We have one product that we sell to one Germany company, Switzerland based, the headquarter because of the taxes. They have a branch in Brazil. They bought from us a product. We want to deliver the product, and the product increased for the customs taxes. You know how much? Guess. Huh? No?
100.
80%, yes. Thank you. 80%. So imagine if your product costs, I don't know, 100,000, in one shot costs 180,000. So the company in Germany says, it's too expensive, we cannot go this way. So, but this is an example for you. And then we make the European Union, 27 countries, that if you produce something in Spain, you don't have to pay nothing to deliver the product to Germany, only the transport cost. So the deregulation means that the goods and services flow by the different countries, especially in Europe, because it's one country, but in worldwide. Not recently, because, you know, the problems we have today with China, United States, and we will face problems because of that, because in this commercial war, everybody will lose, especially us as a customers, because competitors cannot be as competitive as before, so the price increase and our pockets will suffer. And the other is that this intermediation before, because of these regulations, my product has to go to you, and then to him, and then to him, and every single part of this value chain increase the price. Now, I can go directly to the final market. How? Give me an example. Huh?
Online?
Exactly, online marketing. So I bought a book recently, comes from United States. I only have to pay a little bit of the taxes, and that's it. So there's this intermediation before. This book has to go to the port, then it goes to the distributor to the bookstore, and then to the customers. And the price, for sure, is higher, because everybody has to take some part of the piece. Okay? Company orientations, production, product, selling, and marketing. And this is a chronological perspective from the companies since, I don't know, let's say 100 years, no more. I'm not living in Spain on that age, but I remember people in Spain, they create one company which named today is SEAT. Before it was SEAT, and this is a Spanish company, but then Volkswagen bought. So SEAT produced one car, which is the SEAT 600. And this car is a very small car from the corner of this table to here. And the only color they produce is black. And you have to wait 3 years for your car. So this is a production perspective. Whatever you produce, people will buy. What they concentrate the most when they focus on production, reduce the cost of the production as lower as they can. And we have a very good example worldwide, which is Chinese. China people produce huge quantities, lower price. So they focus on production. And this is their competitive advantage, which are changing in the recent years. Do you ever have the experience to be in China? Any of you? No? Never. Well, I've been there. No? Soon, okay. I've been there many times. I don't know why, but since I'm arrived to Europe, I've been very, very high involved with this country. In my work experience, 6 companies, 4 of them are related with China directly. Why? Well, life goes this way. And I've been in this country, and I've been inside factories of this country. If you believe that the biggest company in Bahrain is big, you have to go there. The biggest company in Bahrain is a tiny company in China. I remember being, just as an example, personal experience, take students, and I prepare an agenda, and I've been in many companies, but one who astonished me the most, a company who make gloves, okay? So it's the biggest gloves company worldwide. And I remember walking in the corridor, I don't know, probably from the window to here, and 1 kilometer that way, those are windows, and this is the production lines. And then you see the production lines, see with people, and you cannot see the end. Probably 2 kilometers, line, 1 kilometer that way. So when I saw this, what are these people doing? We make gloves, and we are the most big gloves factory worldwide. And when I see the company say, yeah, of course, 2 kilometers, 1 kilometer, line, and thousands of people inside. And they say, well, there are bigger companies than this. And hello. And I say, bigger companies than this? Usually, when you go there, they are big. And that's why they concentrate as much in salaries low, quality okay, massive productions. So they can reduce the cost. And if you sell gloves here with your brand, usually those brands are made in China. In fact, if you see, most of the thing you have is made in China. And you bought that, and you believe this is no quality. And look, Nike, many factories, very well-known brands, iPhones, are made in China. So be careful when we think that China quality is not so good. We now wearing probably 50% of what we have now in this room is made in this country. And you're not buying cheap, bad quality products, isn't it? So companies who are focused on products, for example, iPhone again is a very good example, is a good product, let's say a good product with a high features, very high price. So they don't taking care about the cost. They just focus on the products and the quality of the product. And this product is expensive. You want to buy one. And this happened the same thing for cars like Mercedes. Why we buy a Mercedes? We have our thoughts. And even if the price is higher, we know that we are buying a good product because this company is product oriented. Selling products are companies which are oriented just, we produce and sell. They are not taking care too much about the needs of the customer. And now, companies are more focused from the marketing service oriented, which is, I produce something, what do you need exactly? Well, I need a car with these special wheels. Okay, we produce Mercedes. Let's try to let's produce the nice wheels, not only for one, but the dimension of this customer, if we make a very good research, is probably 10% of the total population, and we may increase our sales. R plus D, may we do this with different wheels? Okay, we may fulfill this customer needs. This is more or less the story of the production in the companies worldwide, and more recently, based on the internet, based on this slide, okay, we have more information, and this information means that we have more power in front of our providers, okay, as a customers. And now that's coming to the holistic marketing perspective. Before, marketing is a department that almost exists. In fact, marketing starts in the 50s by Americans. And nobody takes care too much about marketing. In fact, marketing department, if you remember, I asking you because I think that I am older than you, but probably you remember that before marketing was interesting to produce a nice brochures. Remember the brochures? That's the main thing of the marketing. We need to have a graphic designer to make the best brochures. Today, brochures are not in the streets anymore, especially in Spain, probably here still, but there are not more brochures anywhere. So the marketing department started that way. And if you remember on 60s, 70s, people from financial and from sales are the one who goes to CEO. On 2000s, the CTO, the technology. But since 2005 from now, if you see the companies, big companies, the one who goes to the CEO are the marketing department, chief officer. And why is that? I explained before. They know exactly what we produce and have, and which are our capabilities, and how we may fulfill the needs of my customers. So they understand very well the customers. And how they know that? Because social media, for example, or the inputs they may receive. And they see the other scopes in the competitors. What the competitors do and where. And based on that information, they have the whole overview of the company, they have the whole overview of the market, and they have the whole overview of the customers. In that sense, they are being able to go into the to that level of position of the company. Coca-Cola recently, in 2007, the CMO goes to CEO, and they now change for another CMO. Now the CEO goes out, and the new CMO goes again to the CEO. And Coca-Cola is a very good example, because even if Apple or Amazon or Google are big and from the capitalization, Coca-Cola is in the position 4, 5, and 7, but in the last 130 years. Google appears in less than 15 years, which is good, but be careful. Win something, probably is not difficult, win something many years for more than 100 years, that is more challenging. So this holistic marketing now, the department grows so much to understand all the things that the marketing has in their field. They have to have people. So they divided in internal marketing, which is one of the focus that the companies pay more attention today. Probably is not very well recognized yet, but the companies are go this way. And this go this way for the following question. Which of you are happy with your jobs today? Raise your hand. Very happy. Nothing better. Only you. Okay. And this is the answer I expect. 2 people here in this room. This is something I expect. Usually we, as an employees, we are not happy for so many reasons. And that's why human resources today are not calling human resources. They call now human development or resource development, because they want to see us grow with the company based on our opinions count, of our ideas taking consideration. We are part of the team. So the internal marketing is when you work in the company and you are satisfied with this company, usually you serve your company better. An example, I used to work in a company, and one lady, more or less my age, are the one who received the answer from the customer service perspective. When she answered the phone, she always answered yes. The tone of the voice, the way she talks, makes the other person feels relaxed, even if he didn't receive what he bought on time. So she solves the problem very easy. But there is another lady, I saw her face, they are not happy in this job. In fact, this lady is not continuing the company, and not because of the company fire her, she decided to move. The lady who answered the phones, my age, has to go for lunch, and the phone rang. So the other lady picked up the phone, and the answer was like this. What? No, she's not here. I don't know when she's coming. Call later. I don't know. I don't know if your purchase arrived or not. I have no idea. Okay, call later. Now you cannot deliver your name. You have to call back. And I was working and say, wow, why this lady answered to our customer that way? This is not fair. That's why this lady, and I realized that this lady is not happy with their job. Now she's working in tourism in another department that probably she realized better. Probably she's working on that moment because, personal needs. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are happy with your job, and this lady, my age, is happy, you can see in their eyes, when some customer calls her to complain or whatever, she is so happy to attend the call. And the other part of this, the other side will understand that by the tone of the voice, by the intention you may have, so far, so forth. So internal marketing is something that the companies pay today so much more attention than ever before, and probably in 5 years we're going to see the results. And here we have an example. Probably I expect that all of us raise our hands at the same time and say, we are nothing better than this. We are so happy to do this. And this happened. So internal marketing is more related with marketing departments, senior management, and other departments. Then you have the integrated marketing, which is the next example I'm going to talk in the next slide. Integrated marketing is when you connect all the marketing tools to deliver the best message for our target market. Okay, I'm going to have an example later on. The relationships marketing is another department inside the marketing department, which deal with the customers, channels, and partners. And finally, the performance, which is how much money you produce, how much money you need, which is the budget, which is the return of this budget when you target this way and communicate this from different marketing channels or omni-channel. The relationships marketing is the satisfying long-term, the key constitutions of the earned retained of the business. From the customer's perspective, of course, it's easy to understand. From the employees, are you happy in the place you work with? If not, what we can do as a company, you to be happy, because if you are happy, company's happy, we make more money, I am happy too as a owner. Okay? The marketing partners are for example, marketing agencies are marketing partners. I used to work in marketing agency and I know people that wants to work in marketing agency, and I tell them, look, it's not so funny and nice when you are inside. Why is that? Because me as a marketing manager in one pharmaceutical company, for example, if you work in a marketing agency, I put the responsibility of you. And probably you are the financial department of my company and you deliver the resources in a very short time to set up and go with the marketing action. So I have a very short term and I deliver to you all the responsibility and the pressure. And the marketing agency has to run because usually they have short budget and they have to deliver the idea yesterday. So the marketing partner is very good to make them happy because some of the very best good ideas coming from the marketing agency, not from the marketing managers. Marketing managers are managers, not ideas oriented. Probably they have some ideas, they are good in a few things, but they need input from abroad to be sure that the action they will make are the best one. And finally, the functional community, which is the money you may produce based on this. Which of you are running, I mean, you run sometimes, you know? None of you? Yeah? You know what happened recently? You too? Yeah, I used to run. I have now a problem of it that I cannot run since 8 months. But I used to run 10 kilometers, have a marathon, and so far, so forth. And last Sunday, something happened. I don't know if you saw on TV. You saw it? The Kipchoge, this man, Eliud Kipchoge, runs 900 meters below 2 hours in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds. No man in the world did that before. But this is interesting because my previous example was GoPro. Remember, I don't know if you know GoPro. It's a small camera that you use, but the example was not fits perfectly. This example fits much better. I did that slide 6 weeks back. And last week, Kipchoge broke. I have a video, you're going to see the story before, and today the story is totally different. And Nike, if you are interested to read things, buy a book called Shoe Dog, which is the founder of Nike. How an entrepreneur, when they have an idea, they go for it till the end. And this person, the Nike entrepreneur or the Nike founder, always are focused on running. Always, because he was a runner at the beginning. So he approached to the basketball people, to the football players now today, to do the best supports to work better with their feet based on the shoes. So he approached those guys and say, look, I want you to run the marathon in less than 2 hours. Very difficult. And they start to make, remember the cross-channel marketing campaign? So they make they call an integrate marketing. Use different channels to communicate one idea and one challenge that the people outside be aware. Special people like me who are running supporters, or people like you that you never run, but interesting. People can run 2 hours. You don't know how much is the marathon. Probably you have no idea, but attracts your attention. They made also an emoji, Nike Vaporfly Elite, which is the new shoes they create for them. And the challenge was for those 3 peoples, because those 3 peoples are the ones who run fast. And they live very well. They are Kenyan, both 3. They live very well because they're running since they are kids. So the challenge was try to break the 2 hours run. See the video? So they made the video, they make emoji, they connect with all the channels everything to make the people be aware. And do not lose the focus. They create Zoom Vaporfly Elite. This is the name of the shoe. Look at me and remember these words in 6 months. This shoe will gonna make for Nike one of the best profits in the last 5 years. Do not forget, because finally one person can run in less than 2 hours with their shoes. Let me show you the video. Last weekend. And this shoe, because if you want to run, it's not difficult. You don't have to be part of a team, like a football team. You don't have to have a field. You only have to have shoes and shorts and run. That's it. Easy. So buy shoes, buy one thing to make in sports, which is only shoes. It's very easy. So you're going to see the sales of this company based on this, of this challenge. And this breaking too is going to be everywhere in every single store. In Nike store, you're going to see it. Because finally they did. Internal marketing, as I said before, and this is a very good example. This company is a ski company in the United States, in Connecticut. They are almost bankruptcy because of the people who work in there doesn't know which is the message of the company. They don't know which is the values of the company they have to transmit to the customers. So when people invest $1 million to see if they make this company survive. So they create a statement of 14 points that all the employees has to repeat to every single customer who arrive. The best experience, this is what you can do here. And they repeat as a mantra. Every customer arrives, they repeat these 14 points. After a year, they not only came out from the bankruptcy, but this is one of the companies very well known in the United States for skiing. Okay? So the performance market, you have two things. The financial, which is the money, and the social responsible marketing. As I said before, if we think about internal marketing people, social responsible is also that it's in our mind in Europe 10 or 12 years back, but it doesn't make big connection today. Why? Probably because people are not waiting for that or are not prepared for that. We as a customers, for example, 8 years back, Zara starts to sell shirts in Barcelona or in Zara stores for 4 euros. For we as a customers, wow, 4 euros, and really nice shirts. 4 euros, everybody starts to buy the shirts. And then suddenly some people start to think, 4 euros for this quality and that designs, who made that shirts? And they discovered that shirts was made by kids in Bangladesh. So we, as a customers in social media, start a campaign, do not buy that shirt which is made by kids. And Zara has a problem because nobody buy the shirts. And because of that, Zara and another company start to make an audit on every single company worldwide to see if no kids working there. This appears another problem that I read recently. Some kids in some places are the only ones who work for the family and the only ones who support the family food. And today, the family and also the kids complain about this audits because they don't have resources to make in there to fulfill their needs every day. There's another problem. But we in Occidental countries and probably here, we don't like to see the kids, working. We have to work for them, not the other way around. Huh? Huh?
Pay for them.
Huh?
Pay for them.
Yeah. It's a responsible, but is a company responsible or is a government responsible?
It's a social responsibility.
It's social responsibility.
Yeah, probably in the other way around. Yeah. But as a social you are a company and you have some budget as a social responsible. The resources are for sure limited. Where you invest that money? You invest in one community. You cannot invest worldwide because at the end of the day, of course, Zara make a lot of money, but if you think about one community or one country, all the money can disappear in one shot.
What about, for example, since you are going to invest and pay for them to teach them how to achieve your own quality, okay? Pay the children to study how to achieve your own quality.
Yeah.
Then when they reach certain age, which they are allowed to work, you can employ them for you to
There's
do the best.
if I ask, if remember the Pepsi challenge, if I vote for you. Because it's a really good idea. How you implement that idea, I don't know. Probably you as a company has this kind of approach, and probably you if you go to Bangladesh, I don't know, and the government say, hey, what are you doing in my country? This is my responsibility. If you do that, the people will believe that I'm not doing my job, and then you start to find, I'm just guessing, you start to find some things that, some interest of some people or some politicals that you cannot deliver what you want for the best for the people. Things like this happen, Probably not. Probably the company doesn't, it's not my problem, close their eyes, it's not my problem, it's another problem. Probably, I don't know. But I believe that this company is big, huge, and they take things very serious. That's why they are the number one. Not only because of the price and the quality. They have something behind, which is the values. And this is very important today.
What he's saying is basically scholarship.
But scholarships, but imagine they don't have schools. So what kind of scholarships and how, which is the technology you have? There are so many things. The first approach is, yes, I vote for you. But then operations, how we implement that. Not easy. Well, this is another example. So many companies. If I asking you, for example, what is McDonald's for you? Fast food? Restaurant? Fast food restaurant?
My savior.
Huh?
My savior.
My savior. What else? Junk food, bad food, unhealthy food, or nice food, something that kids food. Huh? Exactly. So and this is exactly the same as a PepsiCo before. I'm trying not to eat in McDonald's, probably because I believe there is not healthy food. Probably not. Probably they are very healthy, and I have no evidence that is not healthy. Well, except of one movie. Remember Big Size Me? Yeah. Remember the movie? One guy tried to eat a McDonald's for 1 month, and he had to stop the day 23 because his triglycerides are quite high and almost died, something like this. Probably when you see that, well, probably it's not so healthy as we thought.
More than 10 years, I mean, from McDonald's, nothing.
Yeah, but look, I have the same perspective. But I remember when I arrived to Barcelona, I took a bus, and there is a structure of a red structure, a building, okay? And I passed there and I say, what is this building? And then I saw something like McDonald's, and I say, McDonald's here is strange. And then I discovered that there's a hospital made by McDonald's. And then I scratched a little bit more, and this hospital is only for kids below 8 years with a very bad cancer disease. And they pay for the building, they pay for the doctors, they pay for the equipment, they pay for the nurses, they pay for everything. In Barcelona. But there is not the only one. They have so many worldwide. So I was astonished because I try not to eat in McDonald's, but they have a special day. So 1 day or 2 days in a year, they have more than 37,000 or something like that restaurants worldwide. So 1 or 2 days in a year, every customer who spend money, every payment, $1 goes for that hospitals. So in 2 days in a year, the quantity of the money goes directly to those hospitals. They try to wash their face, probably. But at the end of the day, I prefer that way, that only send me hamburgers, and after 23 days go to the hospital because my triglycerides almost kill me.
Hardee's, I think, did a campaign where they were supporting McDonald's, where they gave free burgers to the cancer. So Hardee's supported McDonald's. They're not supported for the campaign.
So, repeat again.
Hardee's put up a poster where they were like shaking hands. The mascots were shaking hands. So Hardee's was supporting and giving out free burgers or to support for the cause of McDonald's to get for the kids.
No. Let me explain again. Probably need to explain. I am a customer. Okay, I'm McDonald's. And October the 1st and March the 1st, worldwide, if you come to my restaurant and you spend $5, $1 goes to that hospital. The next customer, $6, $1 goes to the hospital, and so far, so forth. So that quantity of money go directly to the foundation of the hospital, and they deliver the money. We have to pay the doctors or or buy equipment or build another hospital or things like that. So which is your doubt?
So Hardee's was supporting this cause and they marketed.
It's
competitor of McDonald's was supporting their
McDonald's. They're competitors, but for one day they were supporting McDonald's for the cause of the children.
Oh, wow. Well, this is more difficult, you know. Competitors do whatever they want. In fact, you have tomorrow an example of one hacker goes into McDonald's account. And the hacker was from Burger King. And you're going to see the story tomorrow. It's interesting because it was very good for McDonald's and not for the other one. But let me continue here. They have another examples to increase the reputation or the initiatives. We are almost finished the model number 1. We are a little bit delayed, but don't worry, it's only my responsibility. Do you ever heard the 4 P's in marketing? Yes? Which of you didn't? I'm gonna go with. Which of you didn't hear anything about the 4 P's? Okay. Every time you have an idea in your mind or the company you work today, your company is based on something. Probably they are based more on price. Probably they are more based on product. Probably they are more based in placement or promotion. So if your company is Apple and you sell iPhones, as I said before, you are more focused on product. So based on the product, you are consider the product the most important one in your top priority list. But you have to consider the other, the price, the promotion, and the place. But the product is the first one, probably 60%. Price is 10% because people buy for you anywhere, anyhow. Promotion is important because marketing, so far, so forth. And then when you're going to sell the product. So every time you have an idea of your mind or the company you work with, this company is or product, or price, or promotion, or place perspective. Amazon, for example, is place, perspective, and promotion. Price and product is secondary. Even if there's the place where you can find more products than any other place. Okay? I'm gonna go for the 5P as you mentioned. So if you have emphasis on price, for example, imagine the low-cost airlines. It's bad to be the cheaper one. Probably not. In Europe, you have one low-cost airline which calls Ryanair. Okay? I remember in 2005, I met a girl, and that girl lives in Italy. And I remember visit her for €9 round trip by Ryanair, because Ryanair just launched in 2002 or something like this. It's very cheap. Today is 100. But if you have a strategy to be the lower cost in the airline, for example, it's very difficult for the other competitors to step on in the same market. Because you have to buy an airplanes, you have to set up the operations, and the cost is very high. So they say, you know what? I'm going to make a big investment in the airline companies. I buy the planes, and I put the chairs very cheap. So I have a lot of customers. And if my competitors wants to come in, they have to invest a lot. And I was the first one. What happened today? In our minds in Europe, when we consider the low-cost airline, our minds go immediately to that brand. Even if they have today so many competitors that the price are lower than Ryanair. But they are the first, they hit the market 5 or 6 years, you may find trips for almost nothing. I met people that travel for €1 from Barcelona, I cannot remember if London or Paris or something, €1 in that airline. That before, but because of this, our generation, the last 15 years, we believe that the Ryanair is the lower one. But when you see others, you can find another.
Is there a word for that? That when you think of a product or a service, you think of a certain brand?
Yes, it's a brand recognition, probably.
There's a word for it. For example, if I want to search something, I don't say I want to go to a search engine. I want to Google something. Google is a brand. There's a lot of search engines, but you you think Google. Or when you say fast food, just
Okay. It was in an adjective.
yes.
Okay, I have a video of this tomorrow. No, tomorrow, no, today or tomorrow. I have a video of this, and you're gonna see. Keep that on your mind, and remember when, for example, Hoover our carpet. Hoover is a brand, or Google it, or they have an expression for this. When you use your brand and as adjective, in that sense, people, all the customers will remember you as the first choice, and this is very good because you don't have to make a lot of marketing efforts. People remember you. You just have to update your products and give another, new products on the market. Okay, if it's promotion, you emphasis on the furniture retails. If it's a product, for example, luxury motor vehicles. If it's a place, convenience stores, coffee shops, and so far, so forth. So the new 4 Ps you mentioned before, it's also include the people. So price, promotion, place, and product. Now people is also there, but processes, programs, and performance is also part of this. And today, what it's happened and released 2 months back, and I bought a book that I gave to Dr. Janet for next classes, we have this. Now the 7 Ps consider another 3 that are not in the scope at the beginning. Again, price, promotion, place, and product. This is 4. Now people is 5. And now you consider another 2, which is physical evidence and product and service. Physical evidence is part of the customer experience I explained before. You as a customer may go to a restaurant because of the kind of the food, but if the service is not so good, your experience is not good, and then you're not coming back. So this physical evidence, how is the atmosphere, for example? Starbucks, the company. You know that Starbucks is a sensory brand. If you go to Starbucks, usually you smell coffee, isn't it? But it's true that you go to the other coffee stores that they don't smell too much coffee as they smell in Starbucks.
Yes.
Why is that? As a strategy of the company. Every half an hour, they grind coffee. They grind the grains. I grind grains in my own home. And the smell of the house when you grind coffee is nice. So Starbucks has the same sensory approach. The experience of the customer has to be, everything. Smell, nice chairs, internet, relax. You have to pay for it. But you are relaxing that atmosphere. So they take in consideration the physical evidence. They take also in consideration people because they put your names there. They're not asking number 3. No, they're asking Victor. Oh, yes, me. And you are more personal touch. So people and the people who working in Starbucks, they are trained to treat the people, in a nice way. So people, physical evidence, the process, they're very well designed. The place. I don't know if you ever see an advertisement of Starbucks in any magazine or newspaper.
Yes.
Yes? Interesting. I never saw it. And you know what the strategy of this company is? Try to have stores as close as they can. So we as a customers, when we walk or we go by car, all we see in the store and, the green, the siren, the colors, and we kept, because everybody here recognizes the Starbucks, the logo, don't you, and the colors. But probably which of you never go to the Starbucks? Raise your hand. But we recognize the logos, isn't it? We recognize immediately. Why? Because the strategy of those people is not making the online, the cross-marketing channel we spoke before is different. They made different stores as close as each other, so we as a customer say, oh, another Starbucks here. Ah, look, it's another Starbucks there. In Barcelona, it's every 500 meters. So every 500, because I know that you are not walking in your cities here because it's too hot. But Barcelona is made to walk. So the strategy in Barcelona, every 500 meters, you have to have a Starbucks. So when you are when you are in one place and you walk a little bit, then you find the other one. So you always have the Starbucks around you. So, take in consideration that slide because it's a new release from July this year, which take in consideration all the marketing mix now. So, you have the target market, you position your brand as I explained before, and then you go into your marketing mix. Okay? Finally, the marketing management task, develop marketing strategies and plan as an output. Capture the marketing insights, which is what our customer wants, which are our competitors, and what we produce. Those are the marketing insights. Connect with the customers. How? You can connect online. This is something part of my dissertation. I am a company, and you are social media. You are in my channel. I can deliver to you a message of my product, but the message you deliver to your connections, I cannot control. And you can talk nicely or not. You have to keep your eyes on your comments because your comments are a source of the needs you may have, and I can adapt my product and communicate through you. And then you go, you look, what this company did. They now having this that we already spoke about because they didn't have before. Build strong brands. As soon as you have your position and you understand who you are in the market and then what is your value proposition, you have to build your brand. You have to connect with your brand and invest on your brand. Our brand is meant to do this. Then shape marketing offerings to be sure that you target the market, segment the market and target properly by the offerings, deliver the value, of course, for that target market, communicate that value, and finally create long-term growth. We're going to see later on the module number 5, how the loyalty customers are the one who make the money for us. Okay? And finally, what do you think? What do you think, people? Marketing create or satisfy the needs?
Can do both.
Both? Why?
Marketing can create a need for like the best example would be they can send a person in a store and ask for object or product which is not available with them.
Okay.
If 4 people go and ask at the same time, this store will definitely source the product and get it.
So they are not creating, they are provide. You say, I need. Okay.
Yeah.
I satisfy your need. I'm not created. I satisfy.
The company created a need for that product.
Marketing company creates the need of the product.
Yeah.
The marketing create the needs of the product.
For me, I think they don't provide the satisfaction because that is a different thing.
Okay.
They create the need. It's
Okay.
like if I want to do a marketing for a phone and if I send you 10 SMS in a day and call you 2 times and there is a video jingle, end of the day you just want to say, okay, I want to go and have a look on this product. So
Okay.
they are doing the marketing so that the customer comes into the shop.
So all the companies we know worldwide, they just having a malefical idea in their minds, and they create the needs and they just launch you the need, and you forced to buy from me. No.
From their marketing strategy, you start to develop a need to the product because of exposure.
Okay.
The more you see the product, in time you want it more and more.
Okay.
Subconsciously, for example. For example, McDonald's, the more they do brands, and once you get hungry, you say, okay, I want McDonald's.
Okay.
Because of exposure from McDonald's marketing.
Okay. Let me try to clarify this point because it's always a discussion. And now I'm pretty sure I'm saying. We, as a human beings, has the same needs. As a human beings, we have the same needs. And I'm going to go for the next model or the next one, which is the Maslow pyramid. We need to drink water almost every day. If not, we die. So there is a need. If I have a water company, you already need the product. But I make you wish my product. I make you wish my product because this water is the most healthier. Or this water has less sodium, which is, by the way, very good for our health. Or this is the cheapest price. Or there is a local water from the source that, is the best source worldwide. So, the other example, remember when I'm traveling in train, blah, 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 blah. Remember, that happened many years back. And I remember nobody came with that idea. When this Jobs came with this idea, I remember being one of the first to buy this phone, the iPhone 3 in 2008, because I just believe, wow, this guy has a camera, even if the camera is not too good, and the other phones before also have. Camera is not too good, but it's more friendly. And they have so many things inside. I need that. And the company appears with something I need. So, the conclusion is, you want a car? You want a car?
Yeah.
But sorry. You need a car. That's the question. You need a car?
Yeah.
You need a car here? You need a car? But you want a Mercedes, don't you? Why you want a Mercedes and why you don't buy a Lada car? You need a car. Buy a Lada. No, but you want a Mercedes. So the companies try to create the atmosphere that you need something. I make you wish mine. And how I make you wish mine? If you think about Mercedes, tell me something, a description about Mercedes.
Luxury.
Luxury?
Status.
Luxury?
Status.
Luxury, status? Safety? Comfort. You see? If you think a little bit about this brand, those are the message this brand delivered to you, probably not in words, but in images or somehow. So that's why when I ask the question, you need a car, and I say you want a Mercedes, oh yes, why not? Give me a Mercedes. Oh, you want a Lada? Well, Lada, yes, I need a car, but I prefer, if it's possible, another one. Not Lada. Why not Lada? Because probably in our minds, in our conception, Lada is a car who is comfortable, doesn't status, doesn't luxury, is no having those kind of things. That is why we don't want a Lada, but we need a car. This is one of the examples. So we, as a human being, we almost have the same needs. The companies and the marketing try to make you wish mine, want mine. And the wish and want mine is the way how I communicate, how I communicate my value proposal to you. And this is the big difference from one to another. Got the idea? Any question you may have for the first chapter? No questions at all? Everything is more or less clear? Yes? Okay, let me go then for the second model.